All right, good afternoon. I'm going to be covering 2.9. Now 2.9 is kind of difficult, so make sure you print these notes and watch parts of the video for the parts that you don't understand. So we're going to start really simple at finding the missing pieces in an equation, so solving for m, r, or n. And I tried to model this exactly like your homework. So in each of the following, compound interest equations with, I shouldn't use shorthand. Thankfully I have erasable pens. With t representing the term. Term is another word for years or time. Find n and r. Now, in your homework, let me zoom out. In your homework, they word this a little different. Remember, the n is number of times compounded, and r is interest rate. So this should look like your homework problem. So in part, now really quick, they mentioned compound interest. So let's go ahead and record the formula for compound interest. And there are two of them. One says A equals P times 1 plus R divided by N to the N times T. And another one, instead of account, balance, it just has the letter B. So they're the same. So this can be A or B. Okay, account or balance. So this is the formula they're referring to. Okay, so keep that in mind. In part A, $314,961.92 equals 280,000 parentheses 1.04 to the t power. Now all they want me to find n and r. Okay, so notice I know that the n is located before the t. So I'm going to record what they gave us. They gave us, there is nothing in front of our t. But what could be the invisible number right there? A 1. And I know that this has to equal n times t. So if these have to equal, then I know that n equals 1. Okay, now I know that this part right here has to equal this part. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. I know that 1.04 must equal 1 plus my rate divided by n. Now we just found n, right? N is 1. So I'm going to plug that in. So 1.04 equals 1 plus r divided by 1, which is just r. So I'm going to subtract 1. 1.04 minus 1 is 0.04 equals r divided by 1, which is just r. So if the rate is 0.04, what would that be as a percent? Well, 0.04, remember we can move it 2 places to the right, or you can times it by 100, but r equals 4%. So I found how many times it's compounded and the interest rate. So let's try another one, part B. If $4,050 equal the deposit of $1,800 times 1.0125 to the 4t. All right, so from here, remember, this part here must represent n times t. So if 4t equals n times t, then n must equal 4. So this one is being compounded. Do you remember which word represented 4? Quarterly. Okay. Now I know this part inside 1.0125 has to represent the inside of my parentheses, right? So I found the exponent part here. Now we're looking at the inside of our parentheses. So I should So 1 plus r divided by n. Now we just found n, so I'm going to plug that in here. Okay, so to solve, I'm going to subtract 1. I get 0.0125 equals r divided by 4. Now to solve for r, what was the opposite of dividing by 4? To multiply by 4. So r equals, take your calculator, what's 4 times 0.015? I got 0.05. So as a percent, it would equal 5%. So my interest rate is 5% and n equals 4. So one more, just so you feel confident, and you can pause this, and then you try finding n, how often it's compounded, and the interest rate. So go ahead and pause it, try to find it, and then come check back with me. So I know that if 12 times t equals n times t, then n must equal 12. Do you remember what word represented 12? What happens 12 times a year? Month. So monthly must have been used in this example. Then I'm going to take my inside of the parentheses and set that equal to 1 plus my rate divided by n. But we just found n. N is 12. So then I'm going to subtract 1. So I get 0.0036 equals r over 12. To solve, I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. And I get r equals 0.4032. So if I move this 2 places over, r equals 4.32%. Okay. Now moving on, so that has us finding r and n. And r and n are easy to find based on what we know about our formulas. But to find t, I have to use logs. Now that might be something you've never heard of. It is gone over in Algebra 2. So if you didn't take Algebra 2, this is going to be new to you. So logs are the opposite or inverse of exponential. And so I need to go over with you how to write something in exponential form into log form. So I'm going to write a column for exponential and a column for log. So if I have 7 squared equals 49, there are 3 components to that problem. 7 is my base, 2 is my exponent, 49 is my answer. So if I wrote this as a log, it would be log, and then below this, you see this line on my paper? Below the line, I'm going to write 7. Then, instead of writing my exponent, I switch these last 2, and I write 49 equals 2. So notice that everything is on a straight line, all the same size. You just drop the base below. So notice over here it goes base, answer, exponent. So someone told me you can read this clockwise, like 7 squared equals 49, so you can go in a clockwise circle, whatever helps you out, okay? So if I said, let's see here. If I said 1.5 to the 3.375, to the third equals 3.375. If I wrote that as a log, my base is the 1.5, then the answer equals the exponent. So we're going to be using this information to solve for time. So a couple things before I go over how to enter this in a calculator. So we're going to have to use the change of base formula to enter logs into the calculator. All right, so if I told you to find log base 7 of 49, the way you would enter this in your calculator is you would hit log 49 divided by the log of 7. The base goes on the bottom. Base, bottom. They start with the B. So in my calculator and yours, I would enter the following. And this is how it'll pop up in most calculators. The log of 49 divided by the log of 7. And you should get 2. Let's try another one. The log of base 2 of 16. Remember, the base goes on the bottom. So I would take my calculator and hit log of 16 divided by the log of 2. So it should look like this. Log, you should have log of 16 divided by log of 2, and I get 4. So we're going to have to use this today in order to solve our equations for t. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to jump into solving for t. So I don't know what example we're on. I think we're on example 2. Again, this should look like the problems in your homework. So solve for t and round to the nearest tenth. So part A, if I have t equals the log of 1.12 of 3.4 all over 6. So let's go over how to enter this in your calculator. So the way I'm going to enter the top is log of 3.4. It's log of your answer divided by the base goes last, log of 1.12. So enter that first, and then when you're done, you'll divide that all by 6. Okay, so log of 3.4 divided by the log of 1.12. Hit enter. Then divide all of that by 6. And I get 1.799. So I'm going to round that to 1.8. Okay? Because the nearest tenth is the first place after the decimal, and so 9 would round 7 up. Okay? So we're going to do a couple like that. So this is just checking your calculator skills. It's nothing crazy, just can you enter this in your calculator. So part C, solve for t in the following. Log base 1.009 of 8.125 all over 12. Okay, so let's go over how to enter this in your calculator because it's simply you inputting it. And you can use Desmos. I don't have it out right now, but I know if you click functions. So if you don't, Desmos is on all school iPads. So it's this little green button. My phone provides a major glare, but if you go to functions, under trig, no, where is it? Miscellaneous. Here it is. It's under, if you hit functions and then miscellaneous, it's on the bottom left. So log, you could hit log, and in this case I would hit 8.125 divided by, and then hit functions, miscellaneous, log of 1.009. And notice it gives you an answer right here. And then I would divide by 6. Okay? So you can use Desmos. If you don't have Desmos near you and you want to use your phone, phones are even worse. That's why I asked you to buy a calculator. So log of this decimal divided by log of this one. So hit that on my calculator. And then I would divide by 6. And notice it gave me a nice. So this is Desmos. It just creates a glare. So that's how I would enter it in Desmos. Remember, hit functions. So here, I'm going to record that answer real quick. This gave me 1402 and 905. But I'm going to show you where that was at. I hit functions. I hit miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, and then log is the bottom left. Okay? So they wanted me to round to the nearest tenth. 0 does nothing to the 9. So $1,402.9. Or sorry, this isn't dollars, this is years. So 1,400 years. Long time. This should also be B. B comes after A, not C. Okay, so I think that's the next problem on your homework. Now we're going to go ahead and solve some word problems because you have quite a few of those as well. So in here, my goal is to save $350,000 if I deposit $250,000 into an account that pays 2.04% interest compounded monthly. How long will it take to have her goal? So because it's asking how long, that tells me that I'm solving. Oh, my pen. Let me grab another pen really quick, since this pen is dead. So because this says how long, I know that I'm solving for t. So let's set up our problem. I want a total of $350,000. So that is what's in my account. I am going to deposit $250,000. In parentheses, I have 1 plus my rate, so 0.0204, divided by, so boom, 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 compounded monthly be 12. And so then 12 times t. So I'm solving for t, remember? I don't know what t is. So to solve this, the first thing I'm gonna do two things. I need to simplify this. I need to enter this in my calculator. And also I need to get this part by itself. So I'm going to have to move $250,000. And the way I do that is I'm going to divide both sides by the $250,000. So $350,000 divided by $250,000, I get 1.4 equals, and then I'm going to enter this in my calculator. So parentheses 1 plus 0.0204 divided by 12. Whoops, I entered 2 instead of 12. My apologies. And I get 1.0017 to the 12t. So this is what I have. I'm going to label my pieces. This is my base. This is my exponent. This is my answer. So I'm going to write this as a log. So log base answer equals exponent. So watch this. To get t by itself, I would have to divide by 12. Now you can wait till you do that. We can wait. But if you divide by 12, it'll look exactly like the last two problems that we did. If not, let's enter this in our calculator. So the log of 1.4 divided by the log of 1.0017 equals 12 times t. So enter the left part into your calculator, and I got 198.093 equals 12t. To get t by itself, I would divide by 12, and I got t equals 16.5, and t represents time, which in this case would be years. So we're going to do a couple more like that. I know this video is already long, but these sections in your book are really long, so it is what it is. All right, so Steve has $125,000 to invest. The account pays 3.25% interest, compounded quarterly. How many years will it take to earn $15,000 in interest? Now pay attention to how they worded this problem. They didn't ask us how many years will it take us to have $140,000. No. I said how many years will it take to earn $15,000 in interest. So he's asking for a balance of 125 plus the 15,000 in interest. So he's asking how long will it take to have 140,000 in my account. And he's talking about years. So I know I'm looking for a time, t. So I've got my starting deposit, interest, quarterly. So here we go. I want $140,000 in my account, what I deposited plus the interest. I'm going to deposit $125,000, 1 plus my rate, quarterly is 4, and I don't know how many years, so 4 times t. So I hope you remember the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move 125. So I'm going to divide both sides by 125. So 140 divided by 125, and I got 1.12 equals, now I'm going to enter this part in my calculator. Okay? So 1 plus 0.0325 divided by 4, and I get 1.008125 to the 4t. So this gave me that, this gave me that. Now I'm going to write this as a logarithm. So the log of my base answer equals my exponent. So enter this in the calculator. The log of 1.12 divided by, divided by the log of 1.008125 equals 4t. So enter this, and I got 14.005 equals 4t, and then I divided by 4, and I got t equals 3.5 years. All right, last problem of today. Now, remember, for this next part, we're going to use the equation for continuously compounded interest. And continuously means that n equals infinity because you're compounding it all the time. And so the formula for that is my balance equals my principal times e to the r times t. I don't remember what lesson this was from, if it was from 2.4 or 2.6, but it's from a prior lesson. So we're going to complete, I'm looking at what example we're on. We're going to complete the following table. It looks just like the one in your homework. So find t if compounded continuously. So I copied this table from your homework. So here's my balance, principal, rate. Part A, if I want a total of $2,400 and I'm going to deposit $1,800 and my rate is 2.5%. B, if I want $10,350 and I deposit $9,000 and my rate is 1.36%. Okay, so I'm going to do 2. This looks just like your table. I think homework has part C. So let's do part A. I know that I want $2,400 equals, I'm using this formula up here, my principal of $1,800 times e to the, my rate is 0.025 t. I don't know t, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is divide that 1,800. And I get 1.3333, that repeats, equals e to the 0.025 t. Now, e has a special log called natural log, and in your calculator it's lowercase l n. That's the button on calculator. So I'm going to rewrite this as a logarithm. Remember, this is my base, exponent, answer. So as a logarithm, I'm going to use ln, base of e, 1.33 equals 0.025 t. Now I know this looks hard, but I promise it's all about buttons on your calculator. So in your calculator, hit ln, then hit 1.33. So calculator, ln, 1.33. Record. I got 0.02852 equals 0.025 t. Divide both sides by 0.025. And I have t equals 1.15, so I'm going to put 1.2 years. Okay. Last part, B. If I want $10,350 in my account and I deposited $9,000 times E, my rate is 0.0136 and I'm solving for T. So remember, first thing I'm going to do, divide by 9,000. And I got 1.1445 equals E to the 0.0136 t. So I'm going to rewrite this to be the natural log of my answer equals my exponent. Now you might ask, how come I didn't write the base? The natural log has an invisible e. You don't have to write e. So in your calculator, hit natural log of 1.1445, and I got 0.13497 equals 0.0136 t. Then divide both sides, and I got t equals 10 years. I know that was a long section, but I tried to do an example of everything you would see in your homework.